Well, hello, everybody. It is Wednesday. It's Captain Marty here. Lots to talk about on the fishing front, the hunting front, the weather front, the Nags Head tournament front, all those things. And I'll be back to do just that in just a moment.
Electricity, something I don't mix well with at all, and that's why I only trust the folks at ELS OBX. ELS OBX offers a variety of services from custom electrical installations to lighting design. ELS OBX has the experience and know-how to complete any job. They're committed to providing the highest quality lighting and electrical installations or service at affordable prices. Visit them online at elsobx.com to get a brighter idea of how shockingly awesome they are. See what I did there? ELS OBX, electrical and lighting solutions you can count on. When it comes to finding phenomenal seafood, you gotta go insane. That's right, stop into the Insane Seafood Market right there on Highway 64 in Columbia. Luke Midget and his crew work hard out on the water to make sure you have the freshest selection of seafood around. They provide a wide selection of fish, crabs, shrimp, oysters, and clams, just to name a few. Insane Seafood has a hot bar to satisfy that seafood craving right on the spot. Visit them online at insaneseafood.com and like them on social media. Go insane at Insane Seafood Market, Highway 64 in Columbia.
So for our offshore fishing, not a big fleet, but the boats that went were well rewarded. Down in Hatteras, they continue to catch a few wahoo, sometimes more than a few, good dolphin fishing or mahi, whatever you want to call them, and some blackfin tunas. And then they had an inshore fleet that was focusing a lot on Spanish mackerel, but there are a few kings, and every once in a while, one of those guys will do something a little different, like catching some sea bass or some amberjack, or whatever happens to be biting in closer to shore. That could sometimes include some blackfin tuna in there as well. So that also could include some drum that are roaming around outside the inlet. There's been a little bit of that going on through the fall as well. I talked to Captain Dickie Harris on the Fantastic. Now, this is for your Oregon Inlet report. Dickie's an old friend, my old dock partner. He runs a boat out of the Oregon Inlet Fishing Center, and he's was telling me this evening that it was great yellowfin tuna fishing. And I did notice that the tunas are a good quality, like a 55-pound average, something like that. There's still been a few blackfin tuna around too, and the good news is that the tuna are scattered in different places. That's great because you don't have to have everybody pounding one ledge or one canyon, and they can spread out a little bit. Some were east of the inlet, some were southeast of the inlet, and that's all good. Plus, they had great dolphin fishing. These would be the Bailers, which I explained to you yesterday why they're called Bailers, but they're 3 to 8 pounds. Crowd pleasing, putting some great meat in the box. They freeze well. They're just a top shelf fish to catch. So really good on their offshore report. The inshore boats have been having some struggles getting across the bar. They're smaller boats, and there's been on the bar that these big offshore boats are got all that power and that big high bow, and they're getting out, but not a whole lot on the as far as getting into the ocean for our nearshore boats. They had been catching ribbon fish and bluefish, a few drum, and a lot of Spanish mackerel. Sounded like yesterday mostly they're up inside the inlet fishing around, catching those 3-pound bluefish, which is a nice sized Taylor bluefish, a little on the bigger than those 1-pounders. Don't let anybody tell you that a small bluefish is not good to eat. If they do, you might want to ask them where they're fishing at and what drain field they were fishing in, because a small bluefish is one of my very favorites. Most anybody that's made a living on the water will tell you that when they're small and fresh, meaning they're not a good fish for freezing, but they're really, really good. I like them fried up. Is my favorite way, and I'll take a big bluefish too. I could show you how to cook that with the Hatteras style drum recipe. That is really a great way to eat a big bluefish. But in the final way, the way I actually like them the very best, whatever the size is I like them in my smoker. My gosh, they're good. They're just oily enough to be really good in the smoker, like a jumping mullet or any of the mackerels are all really, really good fish to put in your smoker. So the variety is the spice of life, and right now we're still fishing, and I can promise you all my charter boat buddies in Florida, and there are many, they are not fishing. They are wishing that storm was not coming ashore down that way. And my thoughts are with those people, my prayers are with them, and we'll hope for the best. Most of my family and people I know are on the East Coast, over in the Daytona Beach area, and even they need to really, really be careful and be aware. So that's what's going on on those reports. Surf and pier fishing have remained just about exactly the same. There's big drum to be caught. There's a few yearling drum and some puppy drum. There's a few black drum being caught on the piers as well. Bluefish we're having a good year on them. A lot of those 3-pounders that I've just mentioned to you, that they're catching around the bridge, a lot of them up and down the beach too, whether you're in the surf or on the pier. So the key to catching those, well, actually on those small blues, you can do it one of 2 ways. A good metal lure, a mirror lure, a Usuri, a sting silver, or a gotcha plug will all work well. And also on some of these last Spanish mackerel that are biting right now. But they're all good, but you can also catch them on cut bait. And if some of the bigger ones, a piece of fresh mullet, really good from our local tackle shop, will do you well. But you can catch them on shrimp and catch them on just about anything. A bluefish is probably the hungriest fish that swims in the ocean. So that's been going on. And then in the surf, there's that nice mix that we've been talking about every day. That includes a little bit of everything, but sea mullet, spots, and croakers, the last of the pompano, the last of the Spanish mackerel. All that's going to draw to a close, all those fancy fish. And we're going to get back to meat and potatoes, spots, sea mullets, croakers, and bluefish, and sharks. So that's what's going on in the surf. And don't forget that this week, I think starting tomorrow, actually the event starts today. The 72nd annual Nags Head Surf Fishing Tournament will be kicking off. So that's really something to look forward to. Now I'm going to take a little break, take a little sip of water, and I'll be back to talk to you about what's happening in the Sound and in the back country.
Red Drum Tackle in Buxton is the oldest complete tackle shop at Cape Hatteras. And being the closest tackle shop to Cape Point, Red Drum Tackle has been welcoming fishermen to Hatteras Island with a wide selection of bait and tackle, skilled custom rod builds, rod and reel repair, expert knowledge and information since 1974. Red Drum Tackle knows how, when, and where to fish. To acquire this fishing brain power, visit them online at reddrumtackle.com. Red Drum Tackle, the oldest complete tackle shop at Cape Hatteras and the closest to Cape Point in Buxton.
So backcountry fishing has been really good, mostly boat fishing, and we've had a good week. The weather, where it's pushing a big swell on the bars at Hatteras, Oregon Inlet, Ocracoke, you're not having to deal with that too much out in the Sound, but you still want to be careful. This time of year, weather can come up in a hurry. When a front is pushing down on you, and the next one we're going to have, I think, will be Wednesday evening into Thursday, you do want to be aware. The Pamlico Sound, and I've experienced this, can be one of the roughest places on the Outer Banks when you get the right wind direction. A northwest wind, if it breezes up there to 20, 25, 30, you don't want to be out there. I promise you that. So keep that in mind. I had one really long day in the Sound on a nice big Buddy Davis sport fishing boat. And I'm like, this is the Pamlico Sound? I can't believe it. And it was really rough. So please be careful when these fronts this time of year are pushing through. Also, the fishing has been good in the Sound. A lot of blues, a lot of trout, a lot of red drum, especially down Hatteras way. Those Hatteras backcountry boys, they're just doing well, have been doing well for weeks now. And our guys up on the north end also doing good. Big drum in the evening hours mostly, but you could catch a drum from a 1-pounder to a 40-pounder, 45-pounder without a whole lot knowing how you pick the little ones from the big ones. They just, whenever that school, they're migrating around, they're feeding on the shoals, filling up on blue crabs, filling up on shrimp, and there are a lot of shrimp around, but you just never know where you're going to bump into them. On the smaller side of things, we do have sheephead, we have a lot of Taylor bluefish in the Sound, and we do have a pretty good bite going on right now on sea mullet and croakers. I'm getting that information from the head boats, the Miss Oregon Inlet and the Crystal Dawn. So that is what's happening. Great time of year to take your kids out on a head boat for half a day. Test them out a little bit, see how they like it. Don't need a license, don't need anything. They'll supply it all. They're really good with people. And when I went not too long ago myself, and it really always pleases me because I grew up on head boats. That's where I got my start. But when I got on the Miss Oregon Inlet not too long ago, those guys you would have thought it was their first day on the job taking people out. They were that excited about what was going on, that friendly. And everybody just had a really great, and I might add, relaxing time. It was calm. It was beautiful. We watched the sunset, and it was a great time. So keep all that in mind. I did mention earlier that the Nags Head Surf Fishing Tournament kicking off, 72nd annual. Good luck to everybody in that, and thanks for coming to the Outer Banks. You really give us a shot in the arm before we roll off into the off season. And also, all right, here's your quiz question of the day. What is Saturday? What is Saturday? What event is Saturday? And the answer, I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Saturday is the opening day of the big deer season, the main deer season. So there'll be a lot of folks heading out to the woods, and looking like it's going to be pretty decent weather and kind of cool. So we'll count our blessings. At least this time around, we got good weather, typical fall weather, a lot of festivals going on, just a lot of things. Everybody get your winter gardens in. I've just got done planting my collards and getting ready to pick some grapes. So it's just a great and fun time of the year. And I do thank you for finding us, taking a moment to join us here on my podcast, my fishing reports, and my stories. And I hope you have a blessed day.